Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about our first week of school. Technically, it might be supposed first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I started a week earlier.
Yeah. And, we're just going to go ahead and get into that and just talk about, how we feel about it and really what we're thinking as far as, being successful this semester. Because last spring semester was not my best. And so
Wasn't the hottest moment.
I definitely want to do better this semester. And I think I already am off to a much better start. But yeah, so to start us off, babe, how was your first week? Because you started before me.
Yeah, my first week, it was crazy. Not like too crazy, but crazy enough for me to be like, dang, I really don't know what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was very overwhelming. Okay, so starting off, I had 5 classes. Going into the second week, I now have 4 classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to drop a class because it turns out I didn't need the other one. Like, I already had taken a class that, took that credit.
Okay.
So that's tough. So I had to drop it.
Yeah.
But it's okay because the professor was really nice, and I actually have her, or I did have her for 2 classes, and now I just have her for 1. But she was like, oh, what happened? And I was like, oh, I already took a class. There was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, so did you talk to your advisor? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, okay. You didn't need it anyways. And I was like, okay. So yeah. So that happened. But I did get lost the second day of school.
Really?
Yeah. So the first day, Julian and I actually went a week before to see where my first day classes were going to be. And
We went the day before your first class.
oh, you're right. Okay. So we went the day before my first day.
Yeah, the day before your first day.
Yeah. And so we saw where my first class was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second day, I had no idea where I was going. I thought I did, and I was using my university's map, online. Turns out Google Maps, or Apple Maps, is a lot better. So I got lost because I was following their map, and it didn't, show me where I was, so I was already confused at that. I was like, oh, I think I'm here. But I was not. And
oh, my gosh.
So I wasn't late or anything. It was kind of just oh, I really don't know what I'm doing over here.
Yeah.
So I looked at my phone every time I would go to my class for a whole week. And kind of going into the second week because I was like, I don't want to get lost and I don't want to be late. So that was tough. Oh, my first day, though, I did go into the wrong class. And I sat there for 20 minutes until someone else asked, hey, is this Hebrew and Old Testament? He was like, no, this is Introduction to the Old Testament. And we were like, oh, this is the wrong class. And he was like, are you Dr. So-and-so? And he was like, no, I'm this guy. I don't want to say the name. But yeah, so then we all left, and then we finally found the other class. So that was something.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. It was mainly just me being thrown around. I didn't know where to go. Throwing myself around. So I would end up on the wrong side of campus. I mean, thankfully campus isn't that big.
Yeah.
But for me never going to a university before this, it's still pretty big to me. Right?
Yeah, it's a pretty good size. It doesn't seem too hard to navigate.
No, not now. Now I look for this one center building, and I'm like, okay, I go right. And then that's where I go. I still look at the map though sometimes because I get scared.
Yeah.
I don't want to get lost. It's only been 2 weeks, so I think I'm doing good.
Yeah.
But with my classes, I don't know. It was very overwhelming. It's still kind of overwhelming. One class, I have a quiz every time we meet. Thankfully, we only meet twice because I don't know how I would do it if we met 3 times a week. That's really my big thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many quizzes. Last week, I had 4 quizzes. This week, I have 3. And I think it's just going to be 3 from then on. which is pretty tough because I hate taking like tests or anything like that. So even a quiz, just it feels horrible, like having to take them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw this thing and it was like, oh, well, we watched it together, and it was like, if you say you're a bad test taker, just say you don't know the information. And it's like, no, like I do. I get nervous going into the quiz or the test, not during. It's just up until then, I'm like having a panic attack the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
So I did not miss that. Oh, the day before school actually started, I went to Julian's house and I cried to him for a good like 30 minutes. Looking back on it, that's kind of funny, but
yeah,
I don't know. I felt overwhelmed. Like I wasn't ready.
You weren't?
No.
Yeah,
not emotionally. Or I don't know. How would I put that? I was not ready to do all of the tests, and I felt very overwhelmed because that day before, all my professors were putting in like our test days.
Yeah.
And like our quizzes, and that's all I was seeing. So
it was overwhelming, right?
I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So I cried to Julian for like 30 minutes, maybe a little more.
It was pretty funny.
Until I passed out.
Like it wasn't funny, but like now in hindsight, it is, and
it's funny
like,
now. So I didn't start off on the best note because I wasn't prepared. Like I thought I was prepared, and then it was the first day, and all this stuff was being thrown at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh my God.
I really don't know what I'm doing right now.
You're like, nah, I'm good.
No, the end of the week, the first week, I was like, God, if this isn't for me, let me know right now.
Oh my gosh.
But I didn't get a sign, so I'm still here.
I think you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, my grades are okay. It is just that one class with all the quizzes, which is just so tough because I just want to go and learn.
Yeah.
Like, tests freak me out. They don't make me feel good, which is crazy to think about because I want to take the LSAT, or I have to take the LSAT, and I'm like, gosh, that's pretty tough because the LSAT is to get in, right, to law school, or like have a good chance at it. And then when you finish law school, even when you graduate, like with your law degree, you still have to take the bar exam. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I just graduated.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot, man. But I mean, I guess that's how they filter out everybody, you know what I mean?
Tough.
That's how they make sure that only the elite.
It reminded me of that one of those movies where it's like you have to take a test every year, and if you fail, you like die or something.
What the?
Or you get like killed. But then I'm not gonna say the ending. I didn't even say the title, but I don't want to say anything. What movie is this? I don't know anymore. But I think her name was Peyton List. She was in it.
Peyton List?
Yeah.
Was she and Jesse?
Yeah, the blonde one.
Yeah, is that a YouTube movie? The one with Logan Paul?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That one, everybody was like, that was not a good movie.
Okay, but
it was pretty solid.
I still don't want to like ruin the ending.
Yeah.
If someone's going to see it.
Okay.
I don't know the title still, so I don't know why I said that, because I could have just said what happened.
Oh, because you were talking about that premise, and I was like, I think I heard that in a video, like trashing on that movie. And I was like, wasn't Logan Paul in that movie? And no, yeah, that's pretty funny. No, yeah, I mean, on your first week, I did go with you one day.
That was nice.
And yes. I was just working on like stuff for my job, but then right, so we cut to my first week. So after your first week, then that following Monday was my first day, and I only have one class a day, and then I have two classes that don't have any meeting times, and I just have the work, and I have videos that I can watch, like from the professor. So there's no specific meeting time, right? So I go to my one class on Monday, and I kind of situate everything and figure out like, okay, well, this is happening. I took notes on the first day on my one class, and I left it at that. You know, I didn't look at anything else. So then come the second day, and I wake up for class, and I get done with class, and I go immediately back to sleep. And because I was tired.
I remember that. I texted you, and I was like, how was your first class? and I heard back from you at like 6 or something, and you were like, "Oh, it was good. I've been asleep." I was like, "What the heck?"
It wasn't
This
at
entire
6.
time.
It was a few hours.
Okay, it was
So
like 4.
yeah, so for my first class, it was 11. So I texted you back at like 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when
Okay.
and so I fell asleep till then, and I was like, man, I'm off to another lazy start, and that is not okay. Like, even though it was like only the second day, and I know some people would be like, come on, it was just second day, but it was those exact same behaviors that I was doing the previous semester that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode about how I was really lazy.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a lot of work done, or I did get all my work done, but it was extremely last minute, and I was staying up very late to get it done. And I was like, you know what, I don't need to put myself through that again, and especially to increase my performance, I just I need to not be in my house.
Yeah.
Because even though like I can get work done in my house and I can do all that, but when I wake up in the morning, man, if I'm still in my room, I'm like looking at my bed, and I'm like, dude, I'm ready to hop back in there. Even the floor, I'll sleep on the floor.
No.
And so after that second day, I figured out a schedule. I looked at all my classes. I knew when I was going to do work and what was due, like for the week for all my classes. And I had a good idea of what I needed to do. And the final step for me that I really thought to myself, I was like, you know what, I need to get out of the house, right? And so I told Marisol, I was like, I'm going to go with you to school every single day. And of course, she lit up with joy, right?
I thought he was lying to me because we were about to go work out. I was like, oh, he's just excited. Like, that's why he's saying this.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And so here's the thing, I forgot to tell y'all. So at the school that I go to, right, I go UTSA, they, the first 3 weeks right now are completely online, right? I already had 2 online classes that I had signed up for, and then it was 2 in person. So that was going to be like what was happening. I was only going to go to school for that one class every day, right? But now that it's all online, I was like, man, I need to be in a different environment. So that's when I told Marisol, I was like, I'm gonna go with you, and it'll be great because I'll get to see you during lunch, and we'll get to eat and stuff like together.
We can have snacks.
It was like, but because I'm in that school environment, I'm gonna have this incentive to get work done, and I mean, it's worked. I've been getting a lot of work done, and then when I come home, if I have something to do, it's already later in the day, so I'm not really tired, and so I feel more driven to get the work done. And we've been working out every day, and it's been working out way better, and I'm glad. So even if we stay online, we'll just continue to go with Marisol to her school. If we don't, then I'll have that incentive because I'll have to go to UTSA, and I'll be there to get work done. And I'll still visit Marisol though, because I get out way earlier than her.
Yeah.
So I'll probably still go drop by and chill with her, do some work at her school, do some work at my school, and that's the plan. And then I mean, the other day Marisol, so like she had mentioned, she dropped her class, and so she only had that one class on that day. We got out really early, and we actually ended up going to a coffee shop. It was called Press Coffee.
Oh, it was good.
And it was actually right across the street from another coffee place that we've been meaning to try. It's a coffee truck. It's called Mojo's. And we definitely got to go there next time. But we went to this place called Press Coffee. They have some pretty badass stickers, some pretty good coffee. The only thing, because we went there to go study, the seating situation was pretty cramped. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's not a place to go study unless it's just yourself.
Yeah, like if it's you by yourself, I think it'll work. But because it was the 2 of us and we were trying to study together, there weren't really any seating areas to accompany more than 1 person. Especially like, let alone like 2 notebooks, 2 laptops, our drinks, like there wasn't enough space for everything that we were trying to do. There was seating outside, but I mean, we sat outside for a little bit, but it got kind of humid, and those mosquitoes that started flying around, and I was like, man, like,
yeah, it was okay when it was kind of warm.
Yeah,
but then the mosquitoes came, and we were like, oh,
it was nice. I definitely say if it's just you, Press Coffee is the place to go. Or if you're just gonna sit down and talk with a friend, like definitely also an awesome place to go, but
Yeah, because it's really nice in there.
it is. It's very nice. We loved it. So like we're not like dogging on it in that sense. We're just saying like if you're looking for somewhere to study with a buddy or as a group, you definitely want to go check out somewhere else. Maybe you could get coffee and then go somewhere else from there,
Yeah.
right? But
Because their coffee is pretty good.
it is, and freaking love their stickers. And I have it on my laptop right now. Marisol has one on her bottle.
Yes.
And but yeah, so that was really fun, and that got me hyped to try new coffee places or go to coffee places that we've been to previously and to study at. Just because I don't know, it's when you're somewhere
Else.
you really have an incentive to get stuff done. When I'm at the house, I have an incentive to go lay down or to just hop on my phone just because I'm here, or like go downstairs and fart around with my dogs or do something else other than my work.
You just have like all of these things you can do.
Yeah. And I mean, it is definitely too like about atmosphere too, because I mean the other day Marisol was here, we were doing our work, and I threw some Christmas jazz on because I am hyped for the holidays. It's already
Me
almost
too.
September, and September's close to October, and that's
October is
Halloween.
next to November.
Exactly.
And November
it is all
by December.
it's so
December
close.
is basically here.
It
Christmas.
really is. And so I threw on some Christmas jazz music real low on the speaker, and then I threw on a fireplace on my TV that was going. It was like a 2-hour fireplace loop, and then
That was pretty funny. I looked up from my laptop and I just see like fire, and I'm like, what is happening right now?
and then I had my lamps on, like dim lighting, and it was a real nice cozy vibe, and my room was kind of cold. It was raining, and it was perfect to me. I am so hyped for the Christmas season because I'm going to be completely honest. I feel like I get the most work done whenever it's like that real cold season. It's not like super bright outside, and it's just like it gives me like I want to get stuff done because I'm just so cozy and just feeling good. And so when I got those vibes going in the room, I was like, dude, I feel great. And after the recording of this podcast, we're actually going to do some homework, and you already know I'm going to get the same vibes going. And we're going to be chilling, having a good time, getting our work done. And so it's definitely about atmosphere. I mean, even if you don't have like a TV in your room, or wherever you're doing work, like in your house or anything like that, like you can definitely create a good sense of atmosphere. If you have a speaker or even from your phone, just throw on some music, on YouTube or something that'll really get like the atmosphere, the workflow going. Because if I'm not listening to like jazz music or whatever, I'm listening to like lo-fi hip hop beats, and those are really nice to study to or to read to. And I don't know. It's just finding stuff out like that has really helped me. And yeah, so definitely, I don't know. It's been a better start for sure. I caught myself on that second day, kicked myself in the ass, and I'm off to a way better start than last semester. And I'm really hyped. And I saw my friends yesterday, and so that was really fun. I really enjoyed seeing them. It was a ton of fun just hanging out. It was actually my friend's birthday. And so yeah, I'm excited to see them next time, whenever that is. And it's been a really good start to the semester, honestly. And a little stressful that first week, definitely. I think for the two of us, just figuring stuff out. But I mean, overall, it's been good.
Yeah, I would say we had a pretty good start, considering everything's still going on.
Yeah.
So I think we're doing great. I did get worried for you the second day. Because I was like, oh, shoot. Because you are still at home.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if you wanted to, like, come with me or not. So when you brought it up, I was like, oh, I am taking this opportunity to say yes. You can definitely come with me.
I know. You were so excited. We were in the car, and she was like, yes. And, like, came and hugged me. I was like, all right. Come on.
No, because it's so hard to talk to people that I don't know. At least right now, like, I cannot see their facial expressions.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm talking to them and they actually want to, like, have a conversation or not. So I'm going to be honest, I have not made the effort to talk to anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I haven't made the effort to talk to... Man, I haven't made any friends with any of my classmates this entire year and a half so far. Like, I have, like, acquaintances or, like, people that I, like, kind of know, but not really anything too crazy.
Yeah, I have, like, 2 people that I've talked to.
Mm-hmm.
From last year.
Yeah.
But I don't have any other classes with them. So it's harder. Like I don't see them, at least not on Zoom now, So I don't know. I don't have like an incentive really
Yeah.
to text them. Like I have texted one,
Yeah.
I will say, but our schedules don't add up now because we don't have kind of the same ending.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I start earlier and she starts later. So when I'm getting out, it's kind of like she's still going in. So it's pretty tough, I will say.
Yeah.
I also don't live on campus, so it's a little harder because they're like, let's hang out. And I'm like, I am 30 minutes away. Like, I don't know what to do. And it's late already, so it's not like I can really go. My parents are not about to let me go over there at night by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. School's been crazy so far. I think I was very much stressed out in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to be stressed out over here in a month.
Yeah.
But I have a better handle on when I need to do my work. I feel like that was the main thing I was stressing out about because I felt like so many things were being pushed onto me at one time. And yeah, like I didn't know what to do. Like obviously I had my planner and that helped, writing it down and stuff. Like it helps, but if I don't understand something as fast as I want to and I have to keep rereading something, like poems, it just makes me so frustrated and I feel like I'm going too slow compared to how fast I want to be going. Like I want to finish all my work in like 2 hours, right? Like maximum. Like that's doing all my homework and then studying, right? But if an assignment takes me like 30 minutes, I'm already like, oh no, like I'm on to a bad start.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I have that mindset.
Really? It takes me, like, all the assignments that I've had, it takes me like an hour to do each one mostly. I mean, some I'll get done fast, right? Like the readings take me like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then by the time I'm done with the readings and like the questions with that, it's like 2.5 hours. And then like most of my classes follow the same structure. There's readings, questions about the reading, and then you have a homework and then you have a quiz. And like pretty much all my classes follow that exact structure. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of nice because everything's kind of similar, but at the same time it is time consuming. So like understanding, I'm like, I gotta allocate for sure like a good chunk of time to get this done. And it can be stressful, like not finishing stuff super fast. But I think it's important to understand that, like sometimes you got to take things slow just to get the content better. Because it's not like I've tried to rush through things or I'll try to skim stuff. And I did that last semester. And what happened in the class that I did that in the most, I got a C. And that's awkward for me. So, I've just learned to be okay with doing things slower because it helps me understand better, I can't fly through stuff like I used to. But I think it's also too because of the content. It's much different. And it's not like these professors aren't necessarily teaching us in the way that a high school or middle school teacher would teach you. Like those teachers would read the content and then teach it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they would summarize it to where we wouldn't have to do as much outside of school.
Yeah, and it's like here at college, like the professors, I mean, they're there to explain the content to you, but they're not going to read it for you. Like you're going to read the content, you're going to get the stuff done. If you have questions, you come to office hours or you ask during class and I will explain it to you, but in the way that the textbook does, and some professors are nicer. Like my math professor, my calculus one is very much one of my nicer professors thus far, and he will take the time to sit down and explain it to you. I mean, first he'll do the textbook explanation. If you don't get it then he'll move on to a simpler explanation or try and break it down step by step, right? And that's great. And that reminds me of like a high school teacher. But, it's been crazy to just see the different types of professors and the different styles of teaching. And I don't know, just having kind of almost every style, it seems like, has made me learn it's made me learn to learn differently. You know what I mean? I have to understand. I was like, not everybody's going to hold my hand, and that shit is, it's all right. But, but it has made me a more proficient studier just because I almost was forced to, unless I wanted to underperform in class.
Would you say that most of the things you're doing, it's kind of just memorization?
Yeah, Yeah, and that's another thing, man. It is really just all memorization. It's like, here's the content, memorize it. The test is going to be on what you read, you know? And
Yeah.
not a lot of it. So, I mean, during class, a lot of it will be practical application, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you know, the homeworks and the quizzes aren't really that. And maybe they have some questions about it. So, for an example, I have my, what do you call it? My accounting class,
Okay.
and I was learning about balance sheets and the different terms on a balance sheet, you know, assets, liabilities, stockholder equity, and you know, all the different terms and the different symbols. So like how one line is a subtotal, two lines is a you know, a total, not just a subtotal. And you know, things like that, right? And it was a lot of memorization for that first homework assignment and quiz of understanding the terms. And like they would ask you, okay, well, what's this? I'm like, okay, well, that's an asset, that's a liability, that's a stockholder equity, that's a common stock,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or I was like, that's a cash asset, right? A cash amount, that's this, that's that, right? And it is all memorization, but there was points and times where then they would ask you, okay, well, now that you know the terms, make a balance sheet, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
they'd give me a paragraph with information of like, Sarah opened a cupcake business named Sarah's Cupcakes. I'm like, wow, how original, right? Anyway, so it moves on. It's like Sarah and her two sisters put in $10,000 and each got 1,000 shares of stock, like privatized stock, and then, you know, things like that. And it was it was stuff like that. And then they were like, all right, now build a balance sheet with what you have. And they would give you extra information to kind of throw you off of like, this doesn't go on a balance sheet, but we're going to throw you these numbers and we're going to throw you these terms. And if you throw them on the balance sheet, then you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, in that way, it was kind of like practical, quote unquote, application. But, you know, these were set up scenarios. It's not really like, it's going to be very different if you're talking with a business owner and then you're asking them, you know, give me your balance sheet. And if they don't have one, or they don't have any of like the list of their assets, liabilities, equity, anything like that, then, you know, you're going to have to talk to them and you're going to have to go through like, all right, well, let's talk about expenses. Let's talk about your income. All right, now let's move on to your retained income, and then let's move on. Now let's go to the balance sheet and let's talk about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not going to give you those terms because, you know, more often than not, small business owners aren't going to understand that, right? And they're just going to tell you like, this is how much I make. This is what I have. I'm like, okay, well, you know, this is your equipment and that can be an asset or whatever. And I feel like I'm getting into stuff that some people might not understand. And
Yeah.
my bad. I started going off there, but you know, it's like it is a lot of memorization and some practical application, but it's not like, I feel like they're not completely preparing you for the actual workforce. Like work experience is so much different than school experience. And that's why internships, I think, are so important.
Yeah. Well, I asked you because I actually had to read a paper for my advanced composition class.
Yeah.
And it talked about the banking concept. So basically, the banking concept in education is kind of like, well, this is like a summarization of it. But so in high school, when a teacher would basically just read to you what was in the textbook and then summarize it for you, and then you answer questions about it. It's mainly just memorization, and that's what the banking concept is. And it was talking about how this type of education, or the way that they're trying to quote unquote teach us, isn't going to work, and it's only making us like less valuable to ourselves because we aren't able to function the way that we should be in certain scenarios because we don't have that type of practice. Like, what can I use for an example? One of my classes last year, right? It was kind of like I would read the passage and then the professor would just repeat it to me. And we would take quizzes about the passage, but it was just memorization. Like I literally would just have to memorize the phrase or something like that, right? And I'm going to be honest, I didn't learn anything. And that's the sucky part because looking back at that class, I really need it for law school. Like to have that type of skill. And I don't because it was mainly just memorization. And so I'm not using, trying to remember the word that she said, but I'm not using all of my potential up, basically, because I just had to memorize something. And that's kind of like how our school system, at least from where we're from, is like most of the time. And that's why I asked you, because even in college, I feel like I'm just memorizing stuff. And it kind of makes me a little upset sometimes, because I feel that I'm supposed to be learning and actually absorbing the content to the point where if someone asks me about it in like 5 years, I can just say it. Because my mom's really good at that. But she had a bunch of different professors and teachers in high school and, basically throughout her education that actually implemented like hands-on activities. And now it's just test taking. And you're so worried about the test, you don't really want to focus on actually learning the content. It's just memorizing it enough to where you can get a good grade.
Yeah, I agree. Test anxiety is a real thing. Like, I don't really get worried about tests, but I do understand that a lot of the times you're really just studying to get a good grade on the test, because it's such a large percentage of your grade. And more often than not, you're just memorizing what the teacher or what the review packet is telling you that's going to be on the test. So then a lot of the key information that really isn't on the test, you're just going to let just out the brain. You're just going to let it go in one ear, out the other. And you're just going to focus on the stuff that you know is going to be on the test, right? And then even then, it's only specific things on the test that you're remembering. And so you might not remember the other practical applications that this information might be applicable to, and it'll hinder the way that we learn. I think it has. And we've had teachers, I've had teachers too, like in elementary, middle, and high school, that have done an amazing job, that they do teach you the textbook information, but then they'll give you a real world scenario in which that information is applicable, and then it'll transfer to, like, I remember that because of this activity or this exercise that we did.
Yeah.
I don't really, I look back on stuff and I don't really remember it all the time if it was just memorization, because then I'm only memorizing it for that class, for that specific test. And then when I'm done with that class, next semester comes, that information is gone.
Yeah.
And some stuff has stuck, but there's a lot of stuff that hasn't either. You know what I mean? And so it can be frustrating. I do get where you're coming from. That sounds like a really interesting article.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the beginning and then the end. It's pretty tough, actually, because I was kind of just reading it. I do read it, but sometimes I feel like I skim. Like, I'll be reading it and I'm like, oh, that's a good point. And then I start thinking about something else while I'm still reading it. So that's my problem. I need to focus on one thing at a time. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited for my classes. I feel like because I dropped the other class, I have more time to actually focus on the content now. And I feel like that's where I started to stress out a lot more in the beginning, because I had all of these classes, and yeah, it's just one class less, but that's still one less class that I have that I can separate my time to now to the other 4 classes. And I didn't even need the other class, so that's crazy. Good thing I got out at a good time and the professor was cool about it. But yeah, I just start to stress out whenever I feel like I'm not actually learning, because my mom always implemented in me that I need to learn. That learning is going to keep me going even when I'm older, and you have to keep your brain going. If not, you'll kind of deteriorate faster in a way. Like, if you don't try and work your brain, because I don't know, to her, it's like the strongest, I think she said, muscle that you have, that you always need to keep working, so you're only getting better. And whenever I feel like I'm not learning, it causes me to stress out, because I feel that I'm letting her down and that I'm letting myself down in the end, because when I'm in my career, I won't know as much as I should.
Yeah. Man, I don't know, it's pretty tough. Like, I think it's hit or miss. Right now we're taking a lot of these intro classes. So at least I'm sure, or I hope, that our upper level classes would be more hands-on or more involved, right? And because because I mean, I'll still learn from it. And at the end of the day, right, a job is looking at your qualifications. And, once they see the degree, I'll get the job, and it'll just be learning on the job pretty much. You know what I mean? And I think there is, to a certain degree, you do need to have that base of understanding. That degree telling you, like, well, they understand these concepts that are going to be, applied here at this job, and we'll just teach them how to do the specific job. But we don't have to worry about teaching them like these, basic concepts. But I don't know. I don't know how prepared you can be depending on the job that you go into with a degree. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a degree is kind of all encompassing. Like they have like stuff that you focus on, right? Like how I'm in the School of Business focusing on real estate and finance, but it's, depending on what job I go into, like how much am I going to be prepared? That's what I don't know. And I feel like it is all just, it's continuous learning, continuous experience. You're never like fully prepared for anything, I feel like, especially with school.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of challenges, especially going into the workforce automatically, I think, after school. But I just want a good, like, platform. And sometimes I feel like I'm not setting myself up for that. And it's not the professor's fault at all, because I can still take the time to learn that stuff. But I need to prioritize my time better,
Yeah, I agree.
Because they do give us a lot of work, but it's like I need to find, like, not a setting, but kind of like that median where I can do all the work in a timely manner, but then also learn it. And because I'm not as patient as I should be, I more of the time kind of just do the work to where I feel like it's good enough to turn in.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a mindset too, but I mean, with the virus and stuff, it's been hard to have that really strong work ethic, and things are just different. I don't mind it, but stuff is changing, the world is evolving, and it's kind of like just being an adult. It's very different, it seems like from one year to the next, so many things have changed, and it feels like we have so much more responsibility and weight to bear.
Yeah.
And that, we didn't before. And I mean, it's because we were ignorant before. We were ignorant to a lot of things. And as you get older, you learn more and become more aware. And I don't know, it's crazy, everything that's going on. But man, we really rolled off the deep end there. Overall, first week of school, not too bad, a little stressful, but we're chilling.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be stress. So overall, it was great, I think.
Yeah, but
it's just crazy to see how from one year to the next, we went from all in person, like in high school. Yeah. We were used to that. And then we went all online. And now I'm back to all in person. So it's kind of like once I got used to online school, I was thrown back into a situation where I kind of felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, honestly, I got like in person. It's not even really that I want to be in person. I like online school. It's just I want to be somewhere other than my house whenever I'm doing it.
Yeah, you want the opportunity or the chance to kind of go somewhere else.
Yeah, I just want to like not be in the classroom per se. I just want to be somewhere else, a library or anything like that, and then get work done, or a coffee shop, But I want online school to still be a thing because I enjoy that personally. I don't know. I don't like really set schedules or set places to be at. And it's the flexibility it works for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives me, I don't know, it helps me, I think, to have that structure of needing to be somewhere. But I do like studying in a place that isn't my house, or even sometimes like a restaurant or a coffee shop. I like studying in the common areas of my classrooms, or where my classrooms are, like those buildings, or the library at my school. It just gives me those study vibes, and I really like it because then I'm motivated to actually go and do work.
I agree. It's nice. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's something that I did want to talk about something that oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I was trying to remember what it was. So two things, right? Number one, really appreciate all the support on these recent episodes, and all the support with our first 10 episodes being deleted. I appreciate y'all's understanding with that, and everybody's still continuing to listen to the episodes, and we have been putting up some pretty good numbers recently. And I don't know, it's crazy. Like, kind of out of nowhere, we started blowing up a little bit, and I mean, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
And I love that everybody's listening, and I hope that you are enjoying the episodes. But another thing too, and I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but we do have Amazon affiliate links now. We have partnered with the Amazon affiliate program, right? And so now if you go into that link in the bio of our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or you go to our podcast website, there's actually an Amazon affiliate link tab. And there's a whole bunch of products that Marisol uses, products that we use for our dogs. Pretty soon in another episode, we're going to mention or talk about the books that we've read, and we're going to recommend those to you. And we already have a couple of them already there for you to check out. But in a later episode, we're going to definitely talk about them more. And, you know, there's just stuff there that if you're interested, you can definitely check it out. If you're not, it's cool. But like, full disclosure, like, as affiliate partners, as affiliate links, whenever you buy them, we'll get like a small percentage of kickback from it. And, you know, that's a way that you can support us. And you don't even have to buy the stuff that we have listed on there. If you just click on the link, but you want to buy something else, and then, you know, you check out, it'll still give us a kickback from that. As long as you buy something, you know, whenever you click on the link initially. It doesn't have to be that specific product, but, you know, just following through that link will keep us like connected to it in a sense. And so let's say you click on the book that we recommended in one of the links, and you're like, yeah, I don't really want the book. But then you go and you buy, I don't know, like a backpack or a lunchbox or something. Just because you clicked on a link initially, our like cookie sticks to it, like our website cookie, and we'll still get a kickback. And so that is a way that you can support us, help us keep the podcast going without us having to, you know, dig into our own pockets for this. And you know, we've already had a few sales. Really appreciate it. It's not like we've had these huge numbers. I think we made like almost $2.
Hey, that is $2 we did not
Yeah,
have.
that's $2 we didn't have. And we really appreciate all the support that we've been getting on the episodes. We appreciate the support without even having to mention on the affiliate links. And so definitely go check those out. Definitely go check out our other episodes, and stay tuned for like the future for what we have in store for those deleted 10 episodes. Because, I mean, do we want to mention right now, or do we want to still keep it a little bit of a secret?
I mean, we can mention it.
Okay, so our plan for these deleted 10 episodes, what we're going to be doing is we've actually already started. We're going to be re-recording the first 10 episodes in their entirety. There's 2 episodes that we're changing, though, because we decided that content can be changed. And,
yes.
But other than that, 8 of the original 10 are going to be completely the same topics. And we're doing our best to remember what it is that we talked about for the most part.
I think we're still on the same track. It's kind of just the way that we're talking about it.
Yeah, we have like new perspectives, and it's just we're more comfortable with the podcast now. And so it's definitely kind of the same vibes as these newer episodes have been from like episode 14 and on. And so we really hope you enjoy. We're planning on releasing those mid to late October.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll let you know on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook and all that. We're going to release them all at once.
That's crazy to me.
And
that's so many episodes.
Yeah, it's 10 pretty much new. We're calling them the remastered series. So whenever that remastered series gets released, y'all will know. And be sure to go check those out whenever that happens. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of cover some of that stuff because I feel like the end of our episodes, we're kind of going through stuff real fast.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure to get that information out there because I wanted to show y'all some love for showing us some love, and then just mention what's happening with our new/old remastered episodes.
I mean, they're kind of new.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, other than that, babe, is there anything else that we want to mention?
No, I think you covered it all.
Oh yeah, one more thing. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
No.
Follow us there at livewithjm pod. All right. I think that was it, guys. Anything
yeah,
else?
I think that's it.
All right, awesome. This is a good place to close out the episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.